The top 5 lists are back. We are going to go over the top 5 cruiserweights of all time. This is going to be a very good topic of conversation, and I'm so excited to tell you our top 5. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We drop daily wrestling content. Right above me over here is the WWE shop link. Click that, and you can buy all the nice merch from the WWE shop, and you support the WWE shop and this podcast with all your favorite boys. Matt's not here, though, but Alexis is back. Welcome back, brother.
The third man is back down. I had a little hiatus, but I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I mean, who decides to buy a house and shit? I mean, switch jobs, buy a house, like typical life stuff. But anyway, you're back, and what better topic than top 5 cruiserweights of all time?
Let's go for it, man. I think the cruiserweights was a huge part of our lives, and I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, well, you're welcome back. I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. So I'm gonna go with no, this is not in any particular order. Just my favorite cruiserweights. I think I want to start off at the top. Viva la Raza, Eddie Guerrero. He started off in ECWs where he really got his first real bit of shine, and a lot of people remember him as a heavyweight in WWE, but he actually started off as a cruiserweight, and just loved his style, loved the mullet that he had. That Dom is actually rocking right now,
I
and
was just
I
gonna say
remember,
the Dominic Mysterio.
yeah, yeah, and he was just awesome. He was an awesome heel. The way he used to hold the cruiserweight championship belt, just all nonchalant, and loved the frog splash, man. And so yeah, he's gonna be my number one cruiserweight for me.
I mean, he was very good, and when he came in, you never knew he's gonna be the star he was gonna be. But I mean, he put on great matches. So I mean, no brainer pick there. Good pick. But I like my pick too. I'm gonna go with Ultimo Dragon.
Oh,
I like the Ultimo Dragon. Um, Two-time WCW Cruiserweight Champion, but that isn't the only title he would carry to the ring because he carried all these titles he won in Japan. Um, he was famous for the Asai Moonsault. That was breathtaking to watch. And the Dragon Sleeper, where he'd grab him like a reverse Scorpion Death Drop, and he'd like lean him on his knee. That just you're tapping out, like you can't get out of that. Like it looked good, and his attire looked good. And come on, when you got the famous Sonny Ono in your corner, it just adds icing on the cake, brother. So Ultimo Dragon #1.
absolutely, the original OG belt collector. Remember, he would come
Yep.
out. He had like 6 or 7 belts, and yeah, Mike Tenay with the old acai moonsault. So yeah,
Yeah, well, he acted like he came from Japan. This is what the natives call the acai moonsault.
and I
Mike
used to
Tenay.
I used to love using Ultimo Dragon in the WCW NWO games. Oh
I was just
man,
gonna say
he had
that.
he had all the cool colors, all the cool
Oh
colors. So
yeah.
yeah, nice pick, man. Nice pick.
All right, we go back to you.
All right, I'm gonna cherry pick here. Um, Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka.
Man, oh
619,
man.
Rey Mysterio Jr. He was Rey Mysterio Jr. When he first came into WCW, and it seems like I got a lot of WCW guys on my list. When I think of cruiserweights, I just think of that, mid '90s WCW time. And Rey Mysterio was just so cool. He had the cool mask, the cool outfits. I remember that 1996 Halloween Havoc classic match with Guerrero. He had that what was that comic book? The Phantom? Was it the Phantom?
Yeah,
Yeah, just an awesome, awesome attire, and he was even really cool when they took off the mask. Having that cruiserweight mask in Mexican culture is huge. So when that mask came off in WCW, that was just breathtaking because that was the first time that I've ever seen a cruiserweight take off his mask, and his transition over to WWE. Um, moving to that 619 and West Coast pop, and living the dream of becoming WWE champion, winning the Royal Rumble. Just an awesome, awesome career. I think everybody would probably consider him the greatest mask, the greatest luchador of all time. But like I said, this is my list is not in order, but Rey Mysterio, I don't think you can go wrong with him.
obviously not. I mean, I would say the best cruiserweight of all time. I mean, just his accolades alone, he became a world heavyweight champion multiple times in WWE, and I mean, I do think that he shouldn't have lost that mask in WCW. I think that
Mhm,
was just trying to get ratings at that point, and you're
mhm.
disrespecting the culture. But it did him well. He still did very good things. But my list is also not in any order. But number two comes to the ring like this: the Iceman Dean Malenko started in ECW. Great feuds with Too Cold Scorpio and Eddie Guerrero in ECW. He comes to WCW, wins the WCW Cruiserweight Champion, and he has great feuds like Ultimo Dragon and Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho and Ultimo Dragon. These were all just banging matches. Um, and whenever he was on there, the man of 1,000 holds. I mean, he's not better than Chris Jericho's 1,004 holds, but you know, it, he's still he's very good, and I think he's still helping in WWE currently. He's still helping backstage,
Producing.
so he loves the business, and he always put on good matches. Man, I love watching Dean Malenko in WCW, so I'm gonna go with the Iceman.
No, me too. I used to love. He used to have the 1,000 on his trunks. He used
Yeah.
to have the 1,000 on his trunks. Yeah, he had great matches. I remember him having matches with like Steven Regal, and those 15-minute time limit matches. They would like go to draws. I think he's the first time I ever seen anybody put on the Texas Cloverleaf. That's the first person I
Fire move.
remember. Fire, super fire. I think Rhea Ripley kind of uses it now with like a standing cloverleaf, but that was the first time I ever seen that move. And Dean Malenko was awesome. Dean Malenko was awesome, and WWE is very lucky to have him as a producer backstage because his mind for the business wasn't much of a talker, but his mind for the business and psychology is probably second to none.
Yep. All
All
right.
right, so I'm gonna go on with my number three. Um, this is the first time I ever seen the 450 splash being done. I'm gonna go with Hoovy Juice, Juventud
Hoovy
Guerrera,
Juice.
Hoovy Juice, baby. Had such a cool looking mask. Um, started off his career in Mexico. I seen him mostly in WCW. I know he had a little bit of stint in ECW, but just such an awesome wrestler, such a great move set. Like I said, the first time I ever seen the 450 splash. One of the first times that I believe I ever seen like a springboard from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring, and just an amazing competitor. And then I remember he came off with the mask too, and he was LWO. And that's
Oh
when he
yeah.
became the Hugo, the Hoovy Juice, and just so much charisma. Um, a little bit different than like a Dean Malenko, right? Not really with the holds, but super high flyer, great on the mic, a ton of energy. I think he even had a little bit of stint in WWE as well. So Hoovy Juice for me, just one of the most memorable cruiserweights that I can remember growing up.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome pick. Juventud Guerrero. I mean, his mask was really cool too before he took it off. I liked his
Hmm.
mask. Kind of looked, I guess when I was a kid, it kind of looked like Spider-Man because of the way the eyes were.
Yep.
But yeah.
Like, yeah, I used to think, how the hell do they see? Because it was all
Yeah.
blacked out, right? Like, how the hell are these guys looking through these masks?
Yeah.
Um, Super cool dude, man. Super cool dude. I actually seen an interview with him on a wrestling YouTube page. Really down to earth dude, family guy. Have a lot of respect for him. And that 450, man, picture perfect.
I'm telling you. Since you like the 450, I'm gonna go with another high flyer that was one of my favorite cruiserweights to watch. Actually, he helped with the resurgence of the cruiserweight division in WWE when he got there. Um, Trained by Hall of Famer Wild Samoan Afa, Billy
Wow,
Kidman. Billy
nice.
Kidman. Uh, I like when he was in Raven's Flock, the move the 7 Year Itch, and just his character. But he was also in the Filthy Animals. He was in the New Blood when that stable was going on. Uh, awesome rivalries with like Rey Mysterio and Conan, which also those great feuds. He also won the tag team championships with those two as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and he was in ECW for a little bit. Came to WWE. He won the Cruiserweight Championship from Gregory Helms, who was very good too, by the way. But he's very good, and he helped in WWE for a long time. Kind of developing people backstage, and that move though, when he hit the 7 Year Itch, just the arc and everything was just very nicely done, and he was very good at that. So I like Billy Kidman.
Yeah, I think that was the first guy I ever seen do the shooting star press, right? Which is the 7 year itch. I think it's the first time I ever seen someone do it. Really cool character too, because he was the first guy that I seen come in with the jorts. Right before Cena, it was Kidman who had the jorts and the wife beater, right? And really, really cool, really cool. Loved his style. Super high flyer, and another one of those guys where had all of those great rivalries in WCW, right? With Ray and with Eddie and with Juventud, multiple time cruiserweight champion. So you can't go wrong with Billy Kidman, man.
Just coming out in a wife beater, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Next guy for me, I think it was the Mask. When I think of cruiserweights, I think of the Mask and Psychosis. Just an
Oh
amazing,
yeah.
just a crazy mask with the horns on it, and just such a cool character. Had awesome gear. I don't think he had a stint with WWE at all, but I just remember him in WCW. And I remember he had a nice feud with Rey Mysterio going back and forth. I believe it was like they had like a best out of 7 match between those two guys, and it was just back and forth and kind of a little bit of a hot potato with the Cruiserweight Championship. But Psychosis for me was just so cool to watch. Had a really cool entrance. I'm not sure if he ever came out of the mask. I think he contributed a lot of his mask to another great cruiserweight who's not on my list, but like Yushin Thunder Liger.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think he's like Yushin is like 60 years old still wrestling. So when I see his mask, it really reminds me of Yushin's mask. So Psychosis is going to be number 4 for me.
I mean, not a bad pick. Those horns coming out of that mask was something to be feared, I tell you. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go with the. We've been picking a lot of WCW cruiserweights. Let's go with an OG WWF light heavyweight champion, Taka Michinoku. He has
Mm.
held many titles in Japan, light heavyweight championship. He was part of Kai and Tai, which was a great faction. He's the founder of Kai and Tai Dojo, where he wrestles and he trains people. He's a regular New Japan right now. Hopefully he comes to WWF or WWE and gets his Hall of Fame induction because he deserves to be there. Anyone who can cut off Val Venus's penis is got to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's got to be. Um, but yeah, I mean, he was part of some good TV in the Attitude Era with his stable and very good in the ring. The Michinoku driver was awesome to see done. So I got to go with my boy Taka.
Man, dude, Taka was awesome. I remember playing with him in WCW. I mean, I'm sorry, WWE. What was it called? WWF. When that wasn't Revenge because that was WCW. It was N64.
No,
Help me out
no
here.
mercy.
No Mercy. Yeah, when he would come out, dang 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 dang. I remember his theme music and him being with his stablemate.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he was he had a lot of comedy. I believe he was the first ever cruiserweight champion, right? For
Yeah.
WWF. That Michinoku driver was devastating. It was devastating to see. One of the first times that you really seen like a real high flyer on a regular basis in WWF. So that was really cool to see something new that we hadn't seen, and that light heavyweight championship had a nice little run too.
It did.
Um, they had a
They were
nice
trying to
little run.
compete with the cruiserweight championship, and I mean Taka, he did his thing. It felt as important. I mean, it was very good.
No, it did. It did absolutely. And I'm glad you gave some love to Taka and the WWF because he definitely should be a Hall of Famer. I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Real quick, there's one thing I forgot to mention about Billy Kidman, and I had it on my brain, and I'm looking at you talking, completely forgot. It's I got to go back one pick just to tell you, the only cruiserweight to pin Hulk Hogan, Billy Kidman. I
Really?
wanted to get that out there. He pinned him on an episode of Nitro. I know there was interference of some sort. I just remember he pinned him 1, 2, 3. I don't remember how. I think someone interfered, obviously, because Hogan isn't going to go clean to anybody. But he did pin him 1, 2, 3. He beat him.
I do recollect something like that. I do
Yeah.
recollect something like that.
I just
Billy
wanted to
Kidman was
let the
awesome.
viewers know that because before I move on, I'm like, there's something I wanted to say, and I remembered. So here we are.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I think I'm
All
up
right.
to number five.
I was gonna say,
You've
who's
got
rounding out your five?
He's rounding out my five. So this was a pretty tough one because there's some great cruiserweights out there. You actually mentioned him a little bit when you were talking about one of your guys, and this guy really made a huge impression for me. One of the probably the first high flyers that I ever seen um, on TV that I can remember in my childhood, and it was Too Cold Scorpio. A lot of people know him in WWF as Flash Funk, right?
Flash Funk.
Flash Funk. But Two Court Scorpio was just revolutionary in this high flying game. I remember my first memories. One of the first memories was Super Brawl 3, and he had a match with Chris Benoit. And this match was just a clinic. I mean, two guys who could wrestle. Um, Two guys who were great high flyers who could do a lot of things off the ropes, and just Too Cold was just so fluid, so smooth. If anybody has not seen Too Cold Scorpio, make sure you go and YouTube him. This guy was doing moonsaults and all kinds of flips and leg drops off of the top rope, springboard off the top ropes, coming from the beginning, from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring. I know we see a lot of that now. Pretty much everybody can kind of does that running off the ropes and jumping over the top rope out to the outside. But Two Court Scorpio was probably one of, if not the first guys to do that and make that a really popular move. And then when he got to WWF, he was Flash Funk, right? He had the honeys with him, right? He had the funk music, and he was cool. And he was cool. I don't know how he wrestled in that ring gear that looked just really really hot, kind of
Yeah.
like the ring gear that Gold Dust used to wear, right? How the hell do you wrestle in that stuff? But just a true cruiserweight, true pioneer and trailblazer for that division. And I think we have to show Two Core Scorpio some love.
You do. Same with my number five. Like, you got to show him love. Not one of the best in the ring. He put on a great show. First time anyone ever held the Cruiserweight Championship and the Light Heavyweight Championship at the same time. Sean Waltman, X Pac.
Mm-hmm.
X Pac. The Bronco Buster, all the stuff he did was simple stuff. The X Factor, the Bronco Buster. I mean, these things just, it got a pop from the crowd. He was part of two of the greatest stables of all time, NWO and DX. Um, and he had some good matches too with Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio, and obviously the NWO kept helping him win, but they were very good matches till the interference. And he could hang with them, to a degree. He was 1-2-3 Kid, got the pin on
Mm-hmm.
Razor Ramon when I forgot how it happened. He caught him by surprise. Razor was kind of taking him for granted, like he ain't nothing, and he got the pin. And yeah, I mean he's very good. One of the best cruiserweights that you could see as far as championships won and all that. So gotta give X Pac some love.
No, he had a great career. I remember him, like you said, as the 1-2-3 Kid. He didn't. I think he was with Kane, right? Had a great tag team championship reign with Kane. Just very, very versatile, right? He had a ton of different storylines. Tag team guy, stable guy, heel, babyface. No, WWE Hall of Famer, right? With DX, and I think well
And
deserved.
NWO,
Yeah, and NWO. So I mean,
two-time Hall of Famer. Yeah,
two-time Hall of Famer. I mean, there's not many people that can really say that. I think what Ric Flair and probably that's it. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe Booker T. I don't. I think maybe he was a Hall of Famer, maybe twice by himself, and then with
Harlem
Harlem
Heat, and
Heat.
then by himself. Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty hollowed ground when it comes to two-time Hall of Fame. So yeah, you definitely got to give X Pac, 6 Pac, 1-2-3 Kid was able to just change that character over time and stay relevant. So yeah, for sure, nice pick there.
yeah, for sure. So, again, if you're watching this and you have any other cruiserweights that deserve to be on this list, put them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Third man, welcome back. It's nice to have you. Nice to see your face and that nice background of Funko Pops you got. And for the listeners, again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We drop daily wrestling content. Make sure to check out the WWE shop link. It's only an extra click for you, and you can support your boys over at the Triple Threat Wrestling Podcast. And we'll see you next week, Mr. Third Man.
Glad to be back. See you next week, y'all.